Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unique Peace. I am Janice. I'm a Reiki Master Teacher and intuitive medium here on Long Island. Today, I'm going to be joined by Debbie Frasca, who is an energetic healer here on Long Island as well. She's been doing it for about 7 years. She operates much the way Pat Longo does, if you've ever visited Pat Longo for a reading. So I'm excited having had a healing from Debbie. She's going to explain how this all works and what brings her peace. Welcome, Debbie.
Hello, how are you?
I am good. How about yourself?
I am great, thank you.
Good.
Good to see you again.
Yes. So we're going to, Grace is out there. She's saying,
Grace.
So in our conversation before you came on, you've been doing this for about 7 years. So if you can kind of like tell us how your story started. Like, I'm a Reiki master. There are other people who work in energy medicine as well, whether that's acupuncture, qigong, what have you. And your method is very much kind of like Pat Longo, and you don't use a traditional method or system. So kind of walk us through how you got to your system, how you discovered that, and how you came to where you are.
Right. So I was just always interested in mediums and stuff when I was younger, and I was always drawn to it. So I ended up, I dabbled. I love getting readings and stuff. So I came across this angel thing online, like Connect with Your Angels. So I signed up for it. Then I ended up doing a program that they did online. I actually went to California and did a theta class that introduced me into this world. But I was the only one there that was just there because I thought it was cool. Everybody else was a medium or a Reiki master, like all this stuff. I was just like, I just need to know
interested.
more. Yeah. So I ended up so the first month we worked on ourselves, getting rid of all our stuff. Like I literally cried, I think the whole month, just doing the first section of it, because we have to clear our stuff before we can be a clear channel to help others, as we know. Right. So I started working with people so then she trained us in a few things, and I started creating my own script, if you will. And I'd work on people, and I'm like, I do my thing. And I'm like, did you feel anything? They're like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? I'm like, you did? So it just kept happening and kept happening. So that's when I discovered in this lifetime that this is what I'm here to do. I was a healer in many, many past lives, like most of us that are here doing this now. But that's how in this lifetime, it opened up my healing abilities. And so after I finished that short program, I just started creating, I'd get ideas and downloads and be like, oh, let me just try this. Let me try that. I'd take what I liked from different things, take what and just make it my own. So I would, I dabbled in the body code, but then I'm like, I need to go through the back door and do it this way. I just, so I just made everything my own. But when I finished the program, a friend of mine from Montauk that she shouted me out to her following, and I really started off with a bang. I had worked on 100 people in 30 days, which way back when, that was 7 years ago, it was just very the chakra stuff. And just as I was going along, things kept dropping and downloads and channeling, and it's been growing and growing and growing. And basically it's my God-given gift. I didn't learn it from any human. That class just opened up the channel, okay, this is what you're here to do in this 3D, the Debbie me, not the master healer me, so I had to, then I just started, and it's been flowing and changing. And now, bless you. So, I use my God-given gifts. I connect with God and the angels, and it's, mine's very medical. I really go deep with the organs and the blood and the spinal fluid. Some people are like, do you have a medical degree? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm interested in how the body works, and I want to do whatever I can to make it work at its best.
Okay. That's actually very interesting. So you just happened upon it, and you've been doing very well. So how do you how are you guided to know where to work, how to work? Because when I had a session with you myself, you did a custom session.
Mhm.
You have certain sessions, but touch on how you develop the custom session. How are you guided to do that?
Right. So I do use my pendulum to connect. I think if I don't see a lot, like I'm a knowing, we all have the clairs, and mine is knowing, which actually everyone says like I'm all bummed because I'm like I want to see the angels, but they're like the knowing is actually more powerful because you're going on trusting and
Trust.
having faith and just like doing it blindly, if you will, just with that knowing. So I do use my pendulum. I talk to the, I'm like, is your liver happy? Is your spleen happy? Does she have entities? Like I ask all the questions, I make my notes, but then I have the power to do something about it. Like sometimes healer, you go and get information, biofeedback or whatever, but then okay, what to do next? But so I find out, all right, you have parasites in your brain, your blood, and then I release them energetically. I just command them gone, and the stuff goes, the entities go, the evil spirits go, I do, ancestral stuff, everything, entities, toxins, so much.
It's all good. So, on doing all of this, and it's very fulfilling work, how do you define peace for yourself in knowing that you're helping others? And this was just something that you did out of curiosity.
Right, right. Yeah,
And
in this 3D realm, in this world lifetime, yeah. So just like trusting and having faith that the universe will provide. I mean, all of us have been through stuff in this lifetime. I've been where I got to this point, I've been through a lot. So, but it's over and over, just trusting and having faith, knowing the money will come when you need it, knowing like I'm at the point now, like nothing bothers me. Like I have no worry, no stress, no anxiety. Like I literally trust and have faith in the universe. And I do what brings me joy, and that brings the peace. Yeah.
so how would you define it for yourself?
A sense
How
of, yeah, like trusting and just being aligned with the universe is peace. I mean, that is just being without worry, fear, stress, anxiety, in a state of well-being and calm and trusting the universe. That makes sense.
and outside of helping others, which we'll touch on in a minute, how do you find peace for yourself? You take away whatever it is that you do professionally, energetically. How do you find peace? Like,
Really, in nature, I think the animals, like I love feeding the cardinals, the birds. I have 5 chickens, which I love. Like literally, I'll feed them and I just watch them and just connecting outside with the birds and the nature. I love a good sunrise, watching those colors come up. I'm by the water here, so just like I walk the dog down to the water and just close my eyes and let the sun beat on my face, like that. Simple, like back to the basics, going back to how the Indians used to live, like literally, like just enjoying nature, the simple things in life. And yeah.
and when you say the simple things, does that also kind of filter into how you live every day?
Yeah, I mean, luckily in this, I mean, I was a single mom. I had the kids. I worked 2, 3 jobs, and I've done, going through the ringer like most of us. So now then I remarried and had another son. But I told my husband I'll have another baby if I can stay home and enjoy life now. So my poor husband works his butt off, but so I'm able, thank God, to live a very calm life at home. In my space here and connecting with nature, and I'm able to do that at this point in my life. But yeah, it took a long time to get here.
It usually does. It usually does. So now that you have that peace and calm in your own world, how does that help you when you help and work on others?
Right. So I have, like I said, I have so much compassion for everything because I've been through a lot in my life to get to where I am today. So, I'm just totally at peace. And, I'm pulling people up out of the muck, basically to the top of the mountain here. So many people are walking around just sick and tired, and they just from exhausted from the toxins and the emotions and the stress and just the energies of the world. And they just, they want to raise their vibration, and I'm helping them do that by releasing what no longer serves them, letting things go, past life trauma, ancestral stuff, raising their vibration so they can live a better life. Like, I'm just live your best life, step into your power. That's when my whole life changed, when I got out of a marriage and stepped into my power and was like, yeah, no, we're not doing this anymore. Like, that's when everything shifted for me. So helping people really step into their power for so many reasons. It's not always a spouse, or it could be parents, it could be just a work situation or whatever it is, but like really stepping into your power, letting things go, stop playing draw that line in the sand, step over that line, let the past, leave the past in the past and move forward and live your best life. Like, that's what I love. Yeah.
And so we know that you bring peace through your work, through your energetic clearings, and that work that you do, which is very important. Outside of that, how do you help others find peace?
Just being a bright light. Like, literally, people feel my energy coming into a room. Like, when they say, I mean, not just me, but all us light workers, everyone that's here to do this work, like, you change the whole vibration of the room. Like, going into a space, just being. Forget about people are trying to find their purpose. Why am I here? What, like, you don't have to be like a healer like me doing it as a business, like just being and talking to people. Like, I talked to this lady, like, I was coming out of Staples. This lady was walking in, and I said something about the weather, and she was like, kind of like, what, like somebody talked to me, like, and then I'm like, oh yeah, this crazy weather, you don't know where to weather a jacket or and she all of a sudden big smile, and she was like, oh, have a blessed day. Like, she was like in shock that somebody engaged with her. Like, those simple things, just at the grocery, like your sweater or whatever, but just interacting with people, shining your light. And it really is a thing.
It is. It absolutely is. And as you're doing your healings and you're just interacting with people, how do you find that to add to your peace? Excuse me.
Oh, it just feeds me. I just love people's feedback. Like, the fact that I can change somebody's day, take their depression away instantly. Like, what I'm doing is like fast track healing, like, no messing around. We don't have time to waste. We got to get this done fast. So I literally asked to streamline my way that I do it and get it done. So, I mean, some people are exhausted, healing, they're exhausted doing readings that exhaust them. It feeds me big time. Like, I just love it. If I don't have a healing session, I kind of like walk around in circles in my house. Like, what am I supposed to do with myself? Like, that's what I love doing. And like I said, the feedback, and that the people, like, they can breathe better. Their pain's gone instantly. I had a lady I worked on yesterday. She had shoulder pain and knee pain, or ankle. I released saboteurs and it was past life stuff, and her pain was gone instantly. I mean, this pain's been going on for years. So it was gone. I got the call from her the next day. She was running around shopping, and like, that just brings me so much joy. Like, there's nothing better.
No, there isn't. And I know as a Reiki master, I've gotten that feedback as well, because you're helping them release a lot of stuff. And in doing the work, like you said, a lot of people will be exhausted. Reiki energizes me. When I do readings, it's a little bit more of an exhaustion factor. But Reiki energizes me. I know I have a few fellow Reiki masters that, it drains them. For me, it is very energizing.
Yeah.
So it is kind of the opposite. Some people get, very energized doing readings, and I'm exhausted. And I guess it's the energy that it takes.
Right. And it depends who the person is. If they have a lot of baggage
There's
and
a
a
lot
lot
of
of stuff,
stuff or
karmic stuff and demons around them and energy, I mean, it all depends on the person you're working with too. Yeah, yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Have you ever had any instances where and it not didn't work, but it wasn't like an overnight experience?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I have a high percent, like people like instantly feel lighter and happier. And some pain is, depending if it's chronic pain or like something, a recent thing that is, just stuck, physical trauma energy or something lighter. But if it's deep ancestral past life stuff, so many people are feeling like, if say you were hung, like literally you have the neck pain, it's because like at this age in a past life you were hung and it's showing up now and saying. So it depending on the situation. But yeah, there's a few that it wasn't right away, it was chronic. Like, if you hate your job and you're stuck, and if you don't, your pain's not going to go away until you leave your job, or you leave your spouse. Like say you're in a bad relationship and it's, things aren't going to change until you step into your power and make that change. It's your body telling you, okay, you need to do something about this. Like, so something like that, the person has to be active in their healing too. They have to make choices.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As they say, nothing changes until something changes.
It's right. But most, I mean, knock on wood, the results are pretty incredible. Like I said, I work with people all over the world via Zoom. It's really incredible. I literally do chiropractor alignments. I line the skull and the facial bones. I worked with somebody yesterday, their sinuses instantly started draining when I did the facial alignment and the cleaning out the lymph nodes and stuff. So it's just so cool. I just keep every day, especially now in the last couple of weeks, like every day, new stuff is dropping. I have notes everywhere all over my desk here because everything, I type up my notes and then the next day something new will come in. All right, got to adjust that because just so much knowledge about what I have to release, what the body's deficient in, like just things that I'm learning, all these herbs that are really good for the body that I just, things come on my feed or my friends will get. I have a team of people that incarnated with me at this time to give me, it's like a game of Clue. I swear, they make it like, they're like, we can't give it all to you, we have to make it fun, so they'll like drop little thing. I'm like, can you just tell me, because I have a few
No.
friends, I have a medium that I work with, like, can I get some more information about this? I'm like, no, you got to figure it out for yourself. So like my friends this documentary will come across her feed and she'll like, did you know about I'm like, oh my God. Then we had a conversation about it when it opens up this whole thing. We're like, oh my God, that's crazy. So I have about 5 women that incarnated with me to work with me. We had a contract before we incarnated to contact each other and work. And I was their teacher in the past life. So cool.
I understand that very, very much so, because you also know if you've done it in a past life, because every past life that you do it in, it becomes easier and easier.
Well,
and I know because not only did I have another guest come on and he's like, I'm supposed to do this because it's easy this time and I've done it in a past life. But when I went in and I was working with and getting my Reiki Master certification all the way up through teacher, my own teacher, when she worked on me, she had indicated, this isn't your first go round. You've been a medicine woman many times.
exactly.
And that's why it was easy.
Right.
It's much easier.
It's almost too easy. Like I'm like, am I really, this 3D me, Debbie Frasca, the 3D me is like, what am I doing? I'm still, trying to figure it all out. But that's why it's so easy, because I am this healer from past lives. It's like, I always say it's easier for me to do this healing than like make dinner. It's like cooking stresses me out. I don't know.
Cooking stresses a lot of people out. There's a lot of us. I don't want to be Julia Child as long as I don't burn anything and it tastes good. Yeah.
It comes very easy to me. And that's why my friend always said it's a remembering. I'm remembering my healing abilities from the past, and it's just coming in. They don't want to give me too much to overwhelm me. They're just giving me what it needs, what the universe needs at the time. And I'm so aligned with, as it's coming in, like what is needed. So it's pretty interesting. this parasite thing is crazy. So they literally, parasites fear the frequency of my voice. I work with my friend Jen, who gets the visions. So I'll work with her. I'm like, oh, I have this idea. Let me try it. So I'll do the clearing and she'll witness it and she'll see what's happening in the bodies in the body. And she literally sees the parasites squealing and screaming as they're leaving the body, as I'm pulling them out and sending them to the light. Like, it's just, but parasites really are the root cause of many, many, many issues in the body. People would, if they only knew how bad it is. And then we feed the parasites processed sugar, food, alcohol. We're like, let's feed the parasites. So, but they're just showing the symptoms enough, so then you go to the doctor and they give, okay, here's the pill to go with that. I have joint pain, brain fog, all the stuff. And even my friend, she had a lump on her breast, and I was doing a session with her. I tapped in and I got parasites. I released the parasites, and within seconds, she's like, it's gone. It's not there anymore. Like, instantly, it was gone. So it was a cluster of parasites. Think about what would have happened if she went to the doctor. They would have done a biopsy. They might have, who knows how that would have ended, but probably not well. And it really was a cluster of parasites. Crazy.
Now, we both know that the only way someone can truly feel the power of an energetic healing, whether it is Reiki, energy, Qigong, what have you, is if they are a participant. So I've encountered people who said they were ready, but weren't. And then I've met people who said they weren't ready, but really were. And so you, on both ends of it, and you can tell the way they respond. So I know for me that when someone says they're ready, but they're really not, there's that rigidity. There's that energetic resistance. Like, this isn't it. Yeah. Okay. My wife said to do this. She said that, this is going to help me, but he didn't come in with the open. All I ever ask is people be open to it.
Right.
You don't have to believe it, but be open to it. Because if you're open to it, you will feel something. And that's a beautiful thing. And if you're close to it, you will feel nothing. That has been my experience. How do you handle those? I know how I handle those. How do you handle them?
So I do work with people. I work with people that aren't even present. Like, somebody will even email me. My daughter is, my daughter's depressed, blah, 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 whatever. And I tap in with the pendulum to her higher self and can I work on her? Yes or no. So I'll work on kids without them present, without them even knowing, connecting with their souls. So actually, a lot of people I work like that with. So it's very different that way. I work on a lot of people without them realizing, kids.
Oh, I do too. I work on my stepdad all the time. I even told my mom.
Present people. But yeah, I've had very few. One man, actually one out of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people I work with, he's had neuropathy for 16 years, and it's definitely rooted into some relationship stuff that I told him, like, this is going to take more than one session. And he was kind of on the fence about, like, his girlfriend told him to do it because it's, kind of the same thing you just said. But so he didn't have miraculous. He did have some changes. I'm like, you checked off like 4 things off your thing, but the neuropathy is still there. So still stuff happened. But so he actually called me a few days later and was like, I kind of apologized in a way, not that, just was like, yeah, you're not a scammer, So, but normally people are like crying and grateful and said they've been looking for me their whole lives type thing. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I think I told you the story about the 21-year-old kid that the mom reached out to me, said he was very depressed. He's a mess. Can you please help him? So I'm like, yeah, sure. So she talked to him and she's like, I'll pay for it. Just show up. So he shows up. So 21-year-old boy, he's like, tough guy, like, hi. So I'm like, how are you doing? So we do the session. By the end, he was crying. He felt the angels around him. He felt the presence. He felt the stuff leaving. He actually booked a session the next day to do another healing. Was so grateful. Thank me, thank me, thank me. Like, was so grateful. It changed his life. So he showed up.
He showed up.
Not
That's
he
half the
was
battle, let me tell
yes,
you.
he came on the call, but he wasn't completely open. He was there, but he wasn't. He was like, well, my mom told me I had to do this. So, and it was miraculous. It literally changed his life in a half hour. Like.
And you know what? That's awesome. I mean, I know I am open, obviously, for with what I do and what have you. I am open, and when I had my session with you, I felt a lot of what was going on. So a lot of it can be surprising to people. Feeling, they're feeling things they've never felt. They're sensing things they've never sensed. They're like, "What the heck is happening?"
Right.
So, I mean, from my experience, it was like, oh, this is cool. I haven't felt that before. Oh, this okay. And it made sense. A
Right.
lot of stuff that was happening was like, oh, okay. And I'm all the clairs except taste. I use
Mhm.
all the clairs except taste. I've never tasted anything, but I see, hear, feel, smell, and just know. Very much when I was younger, like you, I just knew. Like,
Mhm.
well, how do you know? I don't know. I
Just
just
know.
know.
Exactly.
When you figure it out, let me know, because right now, here's what I
Mhm.
know.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very gentle yet powerful. Like I always, my intention is for no one to have a healing crisis. No one, they'll just release enough parasites that they're not going to feel like they got run over by a bus, so we might have to do another one. So it's quick, effective, and extremely powerful. Like I could literally like release parasites along your spine, release you, in 5 minutes. It doesn't take hours. It doesn't take a long time. Um, but and the first time people don't know what to expect. Like they'll book sessions, so they're not in the zone, they're not in that meditative state. I'm like, close your eyes, I talk through the whole time, you just have to receive and sit back. And so the second time they do it, they're like totally like in the zone. They're like, oh my god, I was like, my voice is very like hypnotic or meditate. People really get in the zone listening to my voice. Which was interesting because when I was younger, I'd hear my voice on the answering machine. I'm like, oh, I hate the sound of my voice. And now my voice is like so crazy how everything comes around.
I agree with you. I agree with you. There was a couple of times where I left a message from my mom, and I sounded, when I was much younger, obviously, I
Yeah.
sounded like an overeducated 12-year-old. It's really what I felt like. But now I have several meditations out, and I've had friends from college I actually have a friend whose daughter loves my meditation. She loves my voice. She calms her down. She listens to
Right.
them. So I totally can resonate with
Like
how you feel.
so many of my friends, they're like they're like, please make some meditation so I can listen before I go to bed. Your voice just like soothes me into like, so it's very interesting, because the thing that I hated about myself, my voice, is now what is healing people and scaring the parasites away with the frequency of my voice. Like literally, when I work on my friends, they start getting all antsy and itchy. And like one story of the parasites, so I pulled the parasites out from my friend. I was releasing them from her brain or liver, kidneys, like they're deep in the organs. Then all of a sudden, she's like, "Oh my god, I'm so itchy! I'm so itchy!" So they literally like went from deep inside the body into the skin, and then I pulled them out of the 3 layers of the skin, sent them to the light. And she's like, "Oh my god, it's like they're gone. Yeah, like I'm fine now." But like that's what happened. It's and like that. So it's very interesting. People, like I said, people see them leaving their body, hear them squealing and screaming and go into the light. But parasites are one thing I really love releasing because we all have them. And these parasite cleanses too, they're not picking up all the what's in the body. They're only what's showing up in the stool. Sometimes you'll do the stool test and then they give you can buy these parasite cleanses, but they're not dealing with a lot of them. And a lot of them are actually made in the lab and modified, and then they put the eggs in the chemtrails in our water and everything. So we have genetically modified parasites in our body that are resistant to cleanses, but not to my voice. Like they thought they were not indestructible, untouchable, basically. And because my friend, they're like, oh, damn, we gotta go. She like, because I commanded them gone. They thought they were indestructible, but they had to leave.
In addition to like a parasite cleanse or a like I said, I went in with you and you did the personalized. What else do you work on?
So entities are big. So when we drop down to worry, fear, stress, anxiety, we attract dark energies. Entities, they make you feel like not like yourself, make you feel angry. So, you know, what do people do? Go to the doctor and get antidepressants because they feel depressed. But meanwhile, it's just entities that can be released instantly. I send them to the light. People then the spirit's out of body. Like people are like hanging out above themselves. They're not 100% embodied and grounded. So that like when you go out of body, the entities, it's an empty shell, you know, they come in. So I release the entities, put the spirit back in the body, and they're like, oh my God, like they look around like I'm back type thing, like I'm back. And they feel better, instantly happier, and you know, we don't need the drugs. That's my big mission is like fighting big pharma and winning. Like I totally believe in, I was a medicine woman too in past lives. Like God gave us everything we need. Every plant medicine, all the drugs are synthetic versions of plant medicine, you know, and the doctors write the scripts, you know, they dish out the meds or rip out organs, you know, they don't heal because that's what they weren't trained to do that. But that's why I really like removing the toxins, removing the toxins from the medications, the mold, all these things that are in our environment. So yeah, the entities, I do womb emotions that we received in the womb from our mothers and fathers that we don't need to carry. We've been lied to about everything. We weren't told how to release this stuff, that we can release this stuff, that we don't have to carry the emotions of our ancestors and affect our current life in this experience, you know. So yeah, karmic stuff, cutting karmic cords. I do chakra stuff. I do so much. Oh my gosh, the toxins are huge. The alignment, aligning even the organs, the systems glands. So my friend, when I did aligning the organs, she felt her large intestine like she had a baby and like kicking inside of her. Her whole large intestine, small intestine were realigned in her stomach. She's like, that freaked me out, I gotta tell you. But she's like, she was blown. That really was like, oh my God, Deb, like, what are you doing? And my friend from childhood, she's like, this is crazy, but cool. So, yes, so much, just like really anything and everything. I don't think there's between the entities, the karmic stuff, the cutting cords. Yeah, am I leaving anything out? Dark energies, spirit back. Like I work with a lot with kids, animals. I'm working with a few kids in the autistic community. And there's a spiritual side to that people don't understand. The teachers don't understand. The doctors don't understand. And so this little boy, you know, when they run around scream, like he's at school running around screaming and they think he's a severe case of autism. No, he's actually being chased by demons and he can see them and he's screaming and freaking out because the second I release them, he calms down and he types. He can't speak yet, but he'll type to us. And he's like, the bad guys are here. His mom will text me when he's home. Jack, you know, he's freaking out, helped. And I release the demons and instantly he's better. So we've gotten that under control because he has to stay in his body more. But there's such a spiritual side of this because they're star seeds. They're here to change the world too. And they're being attacked even stronger. Like Jack is so powerful and they don't want him to come into his spiritual gifts 100%. They want to keep him down. So it's a spiritual war, as we know, dark and light. And these kids are they're more affected by the heavy metals than other kids. And because they're very spiritual, their vibration is higher. And, but the results I've seen are incredible. I release the heavy metals, put their spirit back in the body. Jack, the second I put his spirit back in his body, eye contact. He had no eye contact before. That was like the first day I started working with him. The other one, he had tremors for a year. I put a spirit back in his body, the tremor stopped instantly. Like there's so much. And I love working with the kids because it's like, they didn't sign up for this. These poisons in this planet, like they're just being attacked with the drugs and the food and the toxins in the food, the air, the water, you know, the kids are coming in and they're just so being targeted. I don't know, with the immunizations, that's a whole rabbit hole, but yes. So no, it's very effective. It's amazing to see it. The changes, the instant changes in people.
That's beautiful. And so I always like to ask, what's in your toolbox? So, and this goes down to the peace. So, I relate a lot as a fellow teenager mom. I mean, granted, my son is 17 and he's at that age of let's push every button and see what happens. Um, and he's very good at it. I know you also have a teenager, round
Yeah.
two, or three. Sorry, round three.
Two
So,
girls. Nick, yeah.
so what has that taught you, and how can you bring that, like, okay, your son is stressed out, he's freaking out, what, you've got 5 minutes before you ship him off to school or to whatever meet he has, how do you get him peaceful?
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess just the compassion from my life experience and my knowledge and wisdom that, you know, I know a lot. And the kids, I'm telling you, he was so mean to me one day and he went upstairs and I'm like, he's got freaking entities. So I released the entities and put his spirit back in his body. And he was a sweet little angel all of a sudden. But yeah, just like the compassion and just, like I said, at this stage in my life, I just am, nothing really bothers me anymore. It's just you know, you don't feed it. You don't feed it. You just stay calm and you know, he can make me mad. Yeah. Like that annoying 16-year-old, right? But I guess just the compassion and my knowledge and wisdom that I just am in a really good place right now. It took a lot to get here. Don't get me wrong, a lot, a lot.
Yep.
But I'm finally at that place that, yeah, I'm in a, I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Sometimes it takes a long time to get to where we need to be. And there's, a lot of S swerves, curves, a U-turn or two.
Oh, so, potholes. I've been major potholes, major. Yeah, don't get me wrong, guys. I've been through the ringer and, you know, a lot in this lifetime. Even like I said, you know, all those things that a person can go through, like I'm like literally checking on them off. I'm like, why is this happening to me? This was years ago, you know, probably 10 years ago. I'm like, what is going on? Why is all this stuff happening to me? Nothing, you know, everything a person could go through. And then now I know why. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So it's
Yeah.
definitely life lessons and, you know, but you got to learn, you need to move forward, learn the lesson and keep moving forward. Growth and expansion, you know, just step into your power, literally keep moving, keep moving, keep moving forward and don't stay stagnant in one place. Just take those leaps of faith and try new things. And yeah, so all this stuff and trust and have faith that the universe will really provide. Like, even if, like, I've had $10 in my bank account and like all of a sudden the money comes
All the
somehow. It
money. Yeah,
always shows up.
it always shows up. I love Gabby Bernstein's books. She's got one, The Universe Has Your Back.
Uh-huh.
That one is really poignant and stuck with me, and so super attractor. But she's very much like that, and so is Marianne DeMarco, whom
Mhm.
I love dearly. She is always, competition. We create the competition. There is no competition.
Exactly.
And so she's also one where you just gotta trust the universe. It's when we don't trust when we have the problem.
Yeah. I mean, we create all these stories in our head, like it's not true. I mean, I've seen it with people like, what if this, what if that, you know, worrying about all this stuff that's never going to come to fruition. Like worry, what if this happens? This, oh my God. And then it all works out. I'm like, look at all that worrying you did for nothing. Like you affected your body. You put all this negative energy in the body, all this worry, fear, stress, anxiety, cortisol is flowing through your body. And look, it all worked out just fine, even better. I've seen that a million times too. Like somebody will try, like, want to buy this house, and it falls through and they're all upset. And then, yep, gotta have faith. Yep. And then it falls through, and then the next one was better than that one. And it's, you just have to trust and have faith that it really will all work out for your best. And it looks like it's not gonna. Or the job, you apply for this job and you're all upset because you didn't get it, but there's really a better one around the corner. I've seen that over and over and over.
I have seen that as somebody in HR in swapped a lot of jobs recently. And what I've learned through that experience is people would say, oh, you can't job hop. Oh, you can't job hop, or it looks bad. There's no point in staying in that toxicity because it's not for you.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I went from a good environment that turned toxic to an environment that didn't seem toxic and then was toxic. And then I went to extremely toxic. It was like in just a matter of 18 months. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this anymore.
Yeah, right.
You make another shift.
Right.
And the great thing about it is I've also learned, and I stress not just to like someone our kids' age, but to my own friends or someone I'm mentoring. And it's because I've been through it. And it's like, okay, I can tell you firsthand with some sort of agency that it's okay if it didn't work out because the next one might be better. Or you might turn around and find something out after the fact that you wouldn't have, if you would have taken that job, that car, that what have you, things could have been bad.
Right, right.
You look back and go, oh, that makes sense.
Right. And a lot of things, like if, say, you're late for work, you couldn't find your keys. Well, like that was because they stopped you from being in a car accident. Like you have to trust and have faith that the universe really has your back. And manifestation is like huge right now. Like if people knew the power of their thoughts, they would never think a negative thought. I mean, it is just, our thoughts are so powerful. Telepathy was our first language. We really communicate that way. But I mean, all this negative self-talk and all of that, you're just that magnetic, you put it out to, if I'm so poor, I'm so broke, I'll never, okay, we'll make you poor and broke if that's what you want.
That really, I don't say those things anymore.
No, that's what I'm saying. People don't understand the power of of their words, their spoken word, like spelling is spells, negative and positive, right. Our words are just very, very powerful. That's why my choice of words when I do my sessions, like a lot of it I do write down, and it's my work and my script, if you will, but it's my choice of words are very powerful in the way I say them. So like I'll create these sessions and it is, the custom, but I'll pull things from my other sessions, what you need in the custom, but the choice of words, like changing one word takes my session from here to here, commanding it, go on a certain way. And that's the power of it, really commanding it. And yeah, it's crazy. It's really, I have to pinch myself some days. I'm like, what is going on over here? Like, it just keeps getting better and better, more powerful, more confident I am. Like, believe me, I went through that time of self-doubt and that, what's that called when you don't,
I went through a very dark night of the soul twice. Twice, once in adolescence and once as a younger adult. Twice, to where we might not be having a conversation. That's how dark it was. And I, like you, have been down a very similar path. I had a very traumatic, wild, not so nice childhood. Then I had a very series of unfortunate relationships. And so it's like when I help people, and I do believe I'm attracting people who are in need of what I've been through. It's like, I've been through this, that way I can guide you through it.
Right.
It's like the self-care. It's like, I know I've given every excuse in the book. I'm not going to be the person who lets you get away with it.
Right.
It's like, let's try again. It's like, oh, okay, your son has autism. So does my nephew, and my sister can do this. It's like I have a cousin who has Asperger's. My aunt and uncle can do this. So let's try again. So
Yeah, no, the
people want to
self-care and
hide.
nobody wants
Yeah,
to put themselves first. They have to take care of the kids. And like, I can't do this. I got to do everybody else first. But like they said, you can't pour from an empty
an
cup.
empty
Like
cup.
the airplane, put your oxygen on first. Then, what good is it going to be when you're sick in the hospital? And the other thing, like money is, you can have $1 billion, but if you don't have your health, you have
What do
nothing,
you have?
you have nothing. Money is just a tool to get things in this 3D reality. This nice things. It's nice to have nice things.
It's nice to
But
have nice things, but like you said, it's like one of the jobs that I had talked about, I was at that job for 8.5, almost 7.5 years, almost 8 years. And it had gotten to the point of where it was getting ready to put me in the hospital. I'm a single mom.
yeah,
I can't afford to be in the hospital. So that was a big turning point.
yeah. No, it's I was in an office job. I was there for I left there at 30. I was there for like 15 years, but I had the 2 kids and I needed a paycheck. I needed the medical insurance, and I sat there for 15 years at this desk. I hated the job, and it just like, but like, I could literally still be there if I didn't take those
You
steps
should.
to make a change. Like, I could be in the bad marriage still. I could be, you have to take that leap of faith. And believe me, I left the marriage, 2 kids, and I'm like, now what am I going to do? Like, I'm 42 kids, and but it ended up, I met my husband, and he's amazing, and I had another baby, and life totally changed for the great,
For the greater.
for the greater. And then the healing stuff, I was a carpenter before I was a healer too, which is pretty cool.
I love that. I love that. My grandfather was a carpenter. My mom's a carpenter. So, well, she was a carpenter as a present. She didn't go all the way.
Yeah, so
But it was just funny because her dad is the carpenter.
so I needed a way to make money when I had the 2 young, extra money. So I started buying tools, and I started making signs. I made benches and little stool. I did craft fairs. I did out of the woods crafts, because I was like getting out of the woods, out of the marriage, and the wood is made out of wood. So I called it out of the woods crafts. But I did that for like 10 years. 10 years, sold it in stores and stuff. But really interesting part of my life. And then it transitioned into the healing.
You, Grace.
Thanks, Grace. So crazy, but yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting, right? I mean, we're all here at this time for the Great Awakening, the Ascension, changing the whole world is changing, and
It is.
that's why I'm here to do this at this time. Everyone's so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I mean, you go to the grocery store, I mean, everyone is walking around with canes, and I'm like, sometimes it feels like the apocalypse or something. I don't, like, everyone's just so sickly, and they need to know this is available to them. To release these toxins quickly from their bodies, the parasites, the alignments, just raising their vibration, getting out of that feeling of hopeless, helpless, being in that cycle of meds and that don't get them. Somebody said you're taking antidepressants for 12 years and you're still depressed. I guess they're not working, right? Then, like, something's not there.
They're not working. Yeah, no, they're not working.
And they just make you more depressed. And I could go on. I just big pharma. Like, I fight evil every day and win, basically, and fighting big pharma, and just I'm all about holistic health. If you're trying to get away from Western medicine, looking for a holistic approach, then check me out. I can help.
And your website is cardinalhealings.com, and everything is there. And it's also in the description for this episode. So you can go and click on the link directly. It will take you to Cardinal Healings, and it will take you to Debbie's website. And you can learn all about Debbie's history and how to book a session with her there. I also know that you do some healing fairs. So what's the next place where they can actually go in and talk to you and have a conversation with you if they don't go to your website?
I think the next one's June 9th. I didn't sign up yet, but yeah, you can contact me, email me too if you want to. Sometimes I'm very old school. I'd rather pick up the phone and have a conversation than go back and forth with the emails. But Yeah, I'm trying to do some group healings. I'm actually doing an event at Ascension Wellness on April 12th too. Working with Liz, who I met at the last fair. She does vision boards, and so I'm going to be at there April 12th. But yeah, I'll start posting my events and stuff on my page.
And now, are you primarily on Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram, Facebook. I do have a YouTube. I'm like I said, I'm very old school. So this whole tech stuff and these posting and all that, the healing is the easy part. The whole tech part gets me a little, it's a lot. But yes, Instagram, Facebook, Cardinal Healings with the S. If anybody, I love to do group healing. So if anybody is having an event, would want to have me come in and do a group healing, I love to do that too. So I want to connect with more people doing events. I've been told by many mediums, including Grace, that I'm going to be on big stages soon doing like large group healings. So I'm ready. I am ready.
Wonderful. And I would like to thank you, Debbie, for being on Unique Peace this morning with us and sharing what brings you peace and everything that you do to help heal the world.
Okay. Thank you for having me. Great to see you.
We're going to put you in the green room for a moment. So yes, if you want to get in contact with Debbie, you can reach her at cardinalhealings.com, or you can follow her on Facebook and Instagram, Cardinal Healings. And I'm excited because on Tuesday I have a special episode with Stuart Marriott. He is the founder of 4Peace, and I can't wait to talk to him. He is all about bringing peace to the world globally and locally, and sharing his history, which is interesting because he is a film. He's in film. He's a recording artist, and he's formerly from the fashion industry. So I want to hear how he got there, and you can join us. So that's going to be on Tuesday at 8 p.m. And I look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you and have a great day.